Angela, and welcome back to another beautiful day. Today, I'm here at the park on a Sunday. Just had a lot of thoughts on my mind, and I wanted to drop some jewels for you guys on why is it so hard to move on from narcissist abuse. Why is it so hard to move on from narcissist abuse? I think that from my experience and from what I watched and seen the people around me go through is that a lot of us don't necessarily know how to be alone. Literally spend time to yourself. And for me to get to the point where I am today, I realized that I was forced by the narcissist and their flying monkeys. I was forced to face a lot of challenges in my life alone. And during those challenges, where the people that I believed loved me or cared about me, like family and friends, and the people around you that actually know what's going on with you, they know your pain, they know that you're dealing with a person that is obviously not, the best type of person. But in those challenging times, those are the times that those people um, walk away from you, and you're literally forced to be alone. I think that a lot of people don't know how to be alone, and that's the main fact. Once the narcissist leaves, or they walk away from you, or they discard you, devalue you, or they just simply do something to force you to leave them alone. Um, in those times, you know that it's not right for you to be with someone like that. You know that this person doesn't make you feel good. You know that um, they've taken a lot from you, that they've mistaken your kindness for weakness. They've stole from you. They've um, put your self-esteem down. You've lost, friendships, jobs, homes, children, just the list goes on, and they know that. And they also know that because you have made them basically your life, you have made this person your everything, which is not your fault, but they know that. And when you're going through those situations, they know that even if they don't contact you, they know that you yearn for them. They know that you want them to reach out to you and apologize. The only thing is that the narcissist is never sorry for what they do. They never apologize. They're like children, and part of being alone is being able to see the pain in others without any fog, being able to see the pain in yourself, analyzing children the way you never have before, and seeing that a lot of there's a lot of children that are broken, that have the same characteristics as the narcissist, and it's from a young age. They throw tantrums just like the narcissist throws tantrums. You start to, when you're by yourself, not only do you start to see into yourself like a mirror, but you also start to see the reflection of others around you. And when the narcissist is there, you can't see anything but them. And I also, the analogy that I got on the way over here was, wow, it kind of feels like, you know, being a mom or a dad or whatever, and your whole life you're just thinking about surviving, you're just thinking about paying bills, feeding your children, and one day they're grown, they're adults. What do you do then? Look how beautiful it is, you guys. So my analogy is that at some point your kids grow up, and I guess you can say you might lose your identity in your children, right? And I feel like that's what I saw in like my mom. And wow. got really loud, but I think that's what I saw in my mom and in a lot of people is that, you know, your mothers are calling you, you know, when are you going to come home? Um, are you close to home yet? You know, just it's like that, you know, don't know what else to do. And all I can do is protect you. Anything that you want, if you really need something, I'm here for you. You know, it's like your mother will give you the last of what she has, you know, so that you can be okay. And not saying that everyone's parent is like this. You know, a lot of us have narcissistic parents and things like that. And even some of those narcissists, you know, they're willing to do anything for you. The only thing is that they expect something back from you. You know, some parents aren't like that. They don't expect anything back from you, and that's the type of person that you are, is that you're that type of person that you don't expect anything back from the narcissist. And it's almost like you became their parent, you became their everything, and they're just like, I want to be left alone. That love, it quickly turns to hate. They don't want to be bothered by you. It's like you're that annoying parent, and they're like, why are you checking on me? Why are you trying to see where I'm going? Why does it matter where I'm going? I should be able, I'm an adult, I should be able to come in and out the house. And you're wondering, like, well, I thought we were in a committed relationship. But they treat people this way. They treat people like they're useless, like they're, you know, like they're obligated to do these things for them. And a lot of times they prey on people that I know that are givers. And I always talk about how the narcissists are takers and empaths are givers. And another reason why it takes so long to get over the narcissist is that because you're a giver, you're constantly in situations where people want to give to you, and you never take advantage of those situations because you feel as if, you know, you don't have to do that for me, you know, but I appreciate you because I see that you're a real friend, or I see that you really care about me, but you don't have to do those things. And a lot of times we don't accept things. We don't, you know, we don't want to make others feel like you're using them, you know, especially because you know what it feels like to feel used. But you have to take advantage. And that's another thing that I learned, is that being out in the world, being in that state of mind where you feel as if you lost yourself, you don't know who you are anymore, because you went through your whole life dreaming. You know, since you were a kid, you were dreaming. I can't wait till I go to middle school. I can't wait till I get to high school. You were dreaming. I can't wait till I go to college, or maybe I don't want to go to college. I mean, this is what I want to do. You were dreaming. This person came along, and you made a dream, a vision of what it would be like to love this person for a long time, to grow with this person. And when you realize that you were never even part of their dream, you were just literally someone they used for attention, for admiration, for counseling, for mothering, for fathering, whatever it is, you realize that you're living in this nightmare because this person has invaded your life with lies. So you go from dreaming to being in this nightmare. And once the nightmare is over, it's like you're getting out of this horror movie alive, and you know that you could have died, and you know that you're alone, and it almost makes you feel like you are dead, like you're a ghost, like no one would even notice if you were here, or if you were, you know, if you were gone. And some people cave into those emotions, and they never become anything. They never dream anymore. They never believe that things can change for them. And I think that's the hardest part, is like you spend so many years with people, with these type of narcissists, and when you leave, you actually believe that it's going to take years to ever have a connection with someone, or it's going to take years for certain things to happen for you, or to get back on your feet. And what I learned was that your life can change within a blink of an eye, within a couple of months. You could have been with this person for years, but the dream was always there. It was them who was blocking um, your energy. They were taking your energy. So now, once you release the narcissist, once you forgive them, once you move on, once you um, learn to put yourself first, even though you're in pain, um, things start to change for you. And sometimes they change really fast for the better. And that is what gives you confidence to keep going. But sometimes when you're back on your feet, everything turns to shit again. And you're stuck there wondering, like, why has everything turned to shit again? I really believe things were going to change. I believe that those moments are meant to teach you that life changes and life is always happening around you. It's happening right now. Life is moving, energy is moving, there's energy in motion. And in my situation, when the narcissist walked out, and I left, because a relationship with a narcissist never truly ends on their side. They're always willing to take you back. They're always willing to put you somewhere in their shelf. They're always like, okay, if this time we can't be together, but we can have sex. The narcissist is very vindictive. They'll tell you, I can't be in a relationship with you. They'll change. They'll You'll go from being the primary supply to just being their friend in their eyes, and they won't even tell you, or they'll tell you, hey, these are my rules, and you have to go along with them. I learned that in those moments when you're alone, you have to look at your childhood, look at the things that you've went through, look at all the people that have, showed you who they were. You just couldn't see it at that time. You have to look at all those experiences, and you have to recreate a new world. Even with that pain, you have to make a promise to yourself that no matter how hurt you are, life goes on. No matter how hurt you are, you won't allow others to overstep your boundaries. Part of what's so hard about moving on with a narcissist as well is that when you leave, you're filled with sadness. That sadness can turn to anger. Now you're angry all the time. You don't want to be talked to. You don't want to talk. You don't feel like interacting with other human beings. You're easily angered. Music, TV, movies, nothing interests you. Your hope in people has diminished. Relationships, when you see relationships, it almost gives you PTSD, and just being alone is what really gets to you. I feel like being alone should be the best feeling for anyone. It just doesn't feel like that in the beginning. I remember, just like I'm sitting here right now with you guys, and I remember just, when I lost everything, you guys, I've lost everything, and I bounced, back. But looking back now, I lost everything. I mean, I got into the worst car accident when I was with the narcissist, and that was the first sign, like the universe was telling me, run, I was leaving their house when I got in a car accident, and when I called them about the accident and I was hurt and the ambulance had came because I had a minor concussion, he literally said, I can't come to you. And he did come to me, and then he was like, I have to go because I have to go to work. And then he quickly left. And after that, I just started to see less of him because now he knew that I didn't have a vehicle anymore. And that was the most heartbreaking thing for me because it made me realize that this person was using me because they seen that I had a nice car, I had a good job, I had everything, and um, their whole thing with me was, oh well, you have family, you have people around you that can help you, but I didn't have people that were just going to go out their way and just buy me a car right there and then. I didn't have. It's as if they felt as if everything that I had been given to me, or I had just been lucky, and um, because they made me feel like nothing I did was enough, I stayed stagnant in that mindset where I felt like nothing I did was enough. So I might as well just not do anything. And I went without a car. I went without a home. I went without a lot of things. And when I lost everything, I would wake up every day, and every day was the same. And every day I was alone. And every day I would think about the day I met him, how my life changed, um, how I was forced into a lifestyle that I just wouldn't wish on other people, and a lifestyle that I never understood until it was me. You judge people a lot, and when you're in that lifestyle, you start talking to people, you start knowing their story, you start knowing how they got there, you start knowing how the world affects and hurts a lot of us, and some of us um, regain our power, and some of us fall short, and some of us give in, and some of us turn evil because of these things. And um, I realized that I didn't want that to be me. Every day, I would walk to like this. First and foremost, first I was afraid to leave my home, and I say this because I know I've had a lot of you warriors who have told me, like, you have PTSD, you don't want to leave your house, you don't want to go out, you don't want to meet new people, you definitely don't want to be sexual with anyone because you know the power of sex. That's how a lot of pimps and people get prey on other people. Sometimes these pimps are gay, but they're having sexual relationships with these women, and that's where the soul tie starts. And you're wondering, why is this woman with this ugly man? He's so ugly. His attitude is ugly, he's physically ugly, it's manifested physically, and you're wondering, and it's because these people really use innocent people by spiritually taking bits and pieces of them slowly. And I remember, like, literally, like I said, you might be afraid to leave the house, and that was me for a long time. I would say like a year. I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to talk to people. I never wore makeup anymore. I never cared about my appearance. All I did was, I cared about my appearance, but I didn't care about my appearance anymore because I felt like it's like the world became fake to me. Everything became fake because everything that I was seeing I believed came from a narcissist, like everything, sexualizing women, things like that. And I never realized that I was probably in that category. So the way I dressed changed, the way I didn't seek attention from men. I didn't go out of my way to be friends with anyone anymore. And when I spent that time alone, eventually I got sick of being alone. But it wasn't necessarily sick of being alone, but I got sick of doing the same thing every day because I spent so much time by myself, thinking in my own mind, not necessarily driving myself crazy, but reliving every event in my life and figuring out how I was going to make it out alive, basically, because mentally I was messed up. I had lost a kid. I lost, my baby at birth. I was already like 5 months pregnant. Um, it was just so much. I have so many stories that I went through, but I don't necessarily want to go through all of them because you guys already know how narcissists are, how they work, how they devalue, how they hoover, how they gaslight you, make you feel crazy, steal from you, take from you, not feel any type of remorse, empathy for things they do. So I spent time getting to know myself and getting to know why I felt the way I felt. And not only that, dealing with emotions of things that happened to me during that relationship. And in the past, I cried a lot until one day I didn't cry anymore. Until one day I would go outside every single day. Although I didn't want to be around people, I went out every single day, like I'm doing right now, obviously, getting some sun. And I noticed every day, I don't know if you guys can see, there you go. I noticed every day that I would go outside and I would see the sun. I would go early in the morning, wake up early in the morning, like 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, I was up. I would thank God for another day, even though I knew I wouldn't leave anywhere. I was just thankful that this person didn't physically kill me, I was just thankful that I still had time. And I would go outside and I would notice that the sun would rotate, right? And I guess a part of me always knew the sun rotates. It rises on the east, it sets on the west. We all know that. But I would have like my little yoga mat, and I would just sit out there and I would look at the sky, and the days change. And when the sun would just rotate, I started to see how it rotated like a clock. And I also realized that as it rotated, I could tell time, So I can look up right now and I would be like, oh, okay, it's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock probably. Not until it gets to the middle, it'll be 12 o'clock, right? So I started to tell time with the sun. I started to look at the colors of the world around me, and I would be amazed all of a sudden. All the colors, the world just seemed new. And it was as if I died and I woke up and I finally said, okay, it's time to live. Everyone has different timing depending on how long they've been with the narcissist to go through their healing. When I finally started to not only see the beauty in the world, I started to want to see more. But I was afraid to leave my house. I was really scared to leave my house because I felt like every time I left, something would happen or someone would talk to me, or, I would just be so afraid. And I would get up every day, get dressed up, get me a coffee, work online, and then I would go on. I literally had to work from home because I knew I had to find a way to work from home because I just couldn't do it. I even started, making videos for you guys, like 2 years ago, I think I started making videos. Just trying to keep my mind busy, trying to heal, trying to help others. And when I would get up in the morning, I would go to this bus stop, train station, and I would sit there, and it's like a little park area. It's like a tiny, tiny little park area. And then it's like buses and trains that just, it's a bus station, basically, train station, whatever. And I would just sit there like in this bench, and I would just watch people go to work, watch people go to school. And this was before the pandemic, before all this stuff going on, And I just watch people go to work every day, and I would say, wow, like, like life goes on. And then sometimes I would go there every day, that to the point where I would see the same people go to work or the same people go to school, or I would see the same people that just didn't go anywhere and just stood in a bench or stood in a corner all day. And I would be like, wow, there's people that are moving, energy and motion, but they're doing the same thing over and over again, just like me. It's just they're around people, they're being more social, they're, you know, but I'm here alone. And I thought to myself, this is actually not that bad, you know. And I would just sit there and look, and I would just see life happening, and wonder, you know, when was life going to finally happen to me? When was I finally going to be able to live and want to live again, to the point where, you know, I would want to open up to people again? Because now I'm accepting life as it's moving, but I'm still afraid of others, you know? So I would just sit there day after day in the middle of that park, in the middle of that, buses and trains moving, people, the same bus drivers, the same people around. And it just, it was like I was stuck in time. And then I remember around that train station, right? What was so crazy, around that train station, there was like a clock in the middle of that train station that I had never even paid attention to. And then one day I just looked up and I saw the clock. And then I looked at the sun and I saw the sun. And then right on the floor, on the cement, oops. I'm like wearing socks and house shoes, you guys. Literally just woke up and came down here. I just wanted to make a quick video down the street. I started to look at the floor, the concrete floor, and there was like imprints of like little quotes of just talking about the value of time and energy moving every single day around us. And I realized every day that was going by, I was aging. And a part of that scared me, because I had made a plan on where I would be by now. Me being married or having children, or, being with this person. And I remember looking at that clock and realizing how valuable time is. And when I would sit there, people would come sit down next to me. I remember this young girl sat down next to me. She must have been like 15 years old. And like I said, this was before the pandemic happened. About 15 years old, sat next to me, looked really sad. She started asking me questions, and one thing led to another, but it was as if she wanted someone to talk to, and she just automatically felt comfortable talking to me. Started telling me that her mom is on drugs, and telling me how her boyfriend's abusive, and just things like that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this is a little girl, and she's feeling exactly how I feel, only that she's a little girl, and I gave her some words of advice. I told her, the value of life. And, she cried. She was like, thank you. This is the greatest advice. Thank you for just listening to me. Then I remember another lady coming to me. She had a lot of health problems. And she started telling me about her narcissistic, she didn't call her narcissistic, but she told me, about her narcissistic sister. And, was telling me about, living with her stealing from her, and, just so many, that being her mother's house, and her mother passing away, and then her and her siblings living together, not getting along. And I didn't really give her advice, but I listened to her. And when she got on the bus, she thanked me for just listening to her. And it would just happen like that for me. Every day I would just sit there, and it would be someone who would come sit next to me, or someone who would have a backpack on and just looked like they were lost or lonely, or um, or I would start walking and I would see someone that's homeless, that just, they're not begging anyone for money, they're not begging anyone to feel sorry for them. They're doing what they have to do. They're picking up cans. They're trying to survive, and just going up to them and giving them the last of my money. I remember having like $10 and giving them like $5, and the lady crying and thanking me, and she's like, "Thank you so much." And I remember her voice and everything. She was like, "Thank you so much, mija." And it's like a sweet Hispanic old lady, and I could tell that she didn't want anything from anyone, and that's why I did it. Something just told me to do it, even though I knew I didn't have any money, and I did it. And not to get any brownie points from anyone. I was just living life, and I knew that everyone, I finally understood that we were all trying to survive, and I gave her that, because I felt like I'm doing better than you either way, and I want better for you, even though I don't know you. Because we all have stories. I ran across people that did heavy drugs, that told me their life story, told me about narcissists that they spent 20, 30 years with, who ruined their life, who put them on drugs and left them on the street on drugs, and they never saw them again. Just left them on the street on drugs. And because they don't have anyone, they just couldn't keep going, and they just stayed there stagnant. And a lot of times you don't understand people, different types of people, different types of stories. And I realized I had to finish writing my story because of this. It was scary for me to see that. So it takes a while to wake up, because you start feeling like a ghost. You feel like you'll never be your happy self again, or you remember having so much joy, or having so much joy where you wanted others to be happy, and feel comfortable, and now you feel as if you don't even have the energy to try to help others or try to make others feel good, because you're so into yourself, and your pain. So I wanted to tell you guys that the pain, the going through pain when being with a narcissist, I wouldn't say it's temporarily, because that pain, sometimes it will hit you, the pain of everything you went through. But for the most part, you will breathe again, you will live again, and when you finally decide to, you're gonna know that life is about going up and down, and just capturing every moment, no matter what. There's a lot of sadness, hate towards this person that did these things to you. And a lot of times we prolong our pain by going back and forth with these type of people. The only way to get past this purgatory is to not love anyone more than you love yourself. I think that after I made that pact with myself, no one has been able to really hurt me that way, even though, you'll look back at these events and it's hurtful to know that people can be this cruel. But for the most part, you learn to forgive and move on, and life becomes this ride of infinite possibilities, and that's what I want you guys to experience. I want you guys to experience the infinite bliss of just living and just being content with just life itself, just waking up and being thankful, like, wow, I'll have another day. And whoever wants to be around my energy will be there, and whoever wants to be a giver, I have to take advantage of that. And also, what I also learned about being out on my own before I end this video, being out on my own, is that I used to look at the world like everyone is selfish, everyone is greedy, everyone is out to get me, or everyone wants something from me, or, you know, eventually they're going to let me down. I used to look at the world like that, but I realized that can't anyone let me down but myself. No one can let you down but yourself. You should always, everything you do in life should be for you, because you only get one life. Another thing is to not walk in life with anger, or what could have been, but walk with faith. Because trust me, it's been times where I literally was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do now? Or I thought things were gonna change. And then, you know, or my car will break down, and then someone will magically just come help me right away. And then the person that literally helped me will, you know, looked at me and said, you know, whatever happens in life, you must go on. You know, that's what this person told me. And you know, of course I never saw this person again. And it also made me realize, like, wow, you know, you have to be good to others. You know, just as I was being good to strangers on the street, when I finally got back on my feet and got a car, the car that I got broke down, and that, you know, I was having a shitty day, and this person helped me. You know, I just got my car, I didn't even have my AAA. The guy, you know, called AAA for me, and he tells me, you know, whatever happens in life, you have to keep going. And that always stuck to me. Good deeds stick to you. When you do good for others, or others do good to you, you'll always remember those things. And that's something I remember, and I will always remember. And it came from a stranger. And not only did it come from a stranger, it made me realize that just as evil lives in these narcissists, and they all do the same thing, they all think the same, they're all malicious, good lives in others. And once you learn to trust the good, anytime bad comes into your life, bad people come into your life, right before you feel defeated, if you just believe, good will come and help you. And sometimes when good doesn't come help you, there's a lesson to be learned in that pain. And that's another thing I learned. Not every time that I've been saved, you know, I've been saved a lot of times, but the times that I wasn't saved, the years I spent with this narcissist and felt like no one was, you know, like I needed to be saved, and the narcissist looked at me like, I'm not going to save you. I realized that there's energy. There's energy in the narcissist. There's energy in good. It's just that you put more faith into wickedness and wicked people than in good. And that's not your fault. That's all you've been living. You've been living in that purgatory with the narcissist. You've been a ghost. But now, I think it's time to understand that you are the Holy Ghost, because you're understanding that life goes on, that you're afraid, but life goes on. You might not have too many beliefs, but you know you have boundaries. You might not know what's going to happen next week or a year from now, but you know that you have boundaries. You might be afraid to open up to new people, but you know that you have boundaries. You know that you won't allow people to treat you like a stepping stool, like shit, like you don't mean anything, like they could just walk away from you, like your tears don't mean anything, like you're weak for having those tears, like you're dumb, stupid for believing the lies. These people are devilish children. A lot of them never grow up. They're Peter Pan forever. And it's like you're Wendy. You're broadened down to their level, but it's time for you to spread your own wings, and create your own path. So I know that this video was kind of long, but I hope that you guys understand that healing takes time, it takes years, and when you're your happy self again, and you're a new version of yourself, people will see that. Trust me, when people see people who are happy all the time, maybe not all the time, but majority of the time, where they have really good energy, other people who have good energy will come into your life. And those people with good energy, you don't know their story, but you know they've went through pain. You don't need to know their story. It doesn't, that's their story, just like you have your story. What you need to know is this person is able to show you love. This person is able to smile at you. This person is able to be your friend through their pain, through what they've been through in life. And I feel like that's what life is about. And you will always connect with other good people. And these good people, you know, some of them will tell you their story. And it just, you know, sometimes knowing other people's stories, it makes you feel better, because it makes you see that you can come out of those situations, you know. It's like everyone has a story, and the people that made it out, those are the people that I admire the most. I respect people with businesses. I respect people who travel. I respect people who are genuinely good people, because a lot of those people have been so broken, and that's why they're able to shed their light on others. And a lot of times narcissists looks at those type of people, and they believe that they're happy because everything in their life is perfect. And the narcissist comes in with jealousy, with hate, and they want to break those people down. You know, anytime something good happens in your life, you can see the envy, the jealousy in their eyes. They wish it was them. But they'll tell you, I knew this was going to happen. I'm happy for you. I knew you would finally get a job and a car again. I'm happy for you. But you know deep down that when you didn't have a car, you didn't have these things, that person was putting you down, like calling you stupid, or telling you that's why, you know, you don't have a car, that's why you got fired from your job. You know, the narcissist tells you so many negative things, but when things start to change, they'll tell you that they always wanted good for you. And you will see that the things that they're saying doesn't match their actions, because you can see the jealousy in their eyes. And not only the jealousy that is there, not only will you see it, but it will manifest. It will manifest with cheating. It will manifest with lying. It will manifest with stealing. And that's when you learn that protecting your energy means everything. Protecting your energy is protecting your conscious mind, your ability to dream. So yes, the narcissist tried to kill you, but take every day, one day at a time, you guys. So love you guys. Talk to you guys in the next one.